Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for inviting me here, HOD Madam and other people who are organizing this workshop. Thank you once again for inviting me. Yeah, I know that your main theme of the workshop is natural language processing, but today's topic is a little bit advanced topic. It is not only NLP; it is uh, NLP plus speech. So in this talk, in these 2 hours, what I will try to do is that I will introduce the application speech-to-speech translation, and also I will go brief details about ASR, and I will also show some demos what we developed for speech-to-speech translation and for speech recognition. Okay, so so. So why we need a speech-to-speech machine translation? That speech-to-speech machine translation means if I speak in Hindi, how can a machine convert it to Telugu or any other language so that there won't be any language barrier, uh, you know, uh, and it is very useful application, especially country like India because we have so many languages. Officially, we have 22 languages and unofficially there are many, but officially we have 22 languages. If you include Indian English, it will become 23 Indian languages, so 23 languages. So language is a barrier. If I, being a South Indian, if I go to Delhi, I may find difficulty to communicate. Same thing if they come to Chennai or Bangalore from north, so they will find difficulty to communicate. So how can this language barrier can be reduced for education application, healthcare, or agriculture? This is very useful application, and especially country like India, speech to speech machine translation. So far we have machine translation, that means converting one language text to other language. But this we are talking right now is speech to speech via text, right? So that will follow this path actually. So for example, I want to convert Telugu speech to Hindi speech. First I will convert the Telugu speech to Telugu text using automatic speech recognition, and then we'll convert the text into target text by using target language text by using machine translation, and then we'll use the text to speech TTS to convert the target language into the speech. This is the one of the framework. There are some frameworks people are trying from directly speech to speech without text by using neural nets, but that performance is not up to the mark right now, and also it may not work, especially low resource language like India. And also our languages are free languages. That means we can construct sentences in different ways to convey the same meaning. So in that way, so it's not easy to convert one speech directly to another speech, which may be possible if the languages are more structured and we have a lot of parallel data. But right now the path we are taking is this three blocks like ASR, machine translation, and text to speech. Over last 30-40 years, a lot of work has happened individually, like speech recognition evolved over the years. Similarly, machine translation and text to speech, over 20-30 years, a lot of work has happened as individual blocks. Now this application is to connect all three blocks and develop a grand application of speech to speech translation. So now even Indian government took it as, Prime Minister office took it as a challenge, and they are taking it as a mission actually. And it recently got approved, and money will flow to different institutes and startups. Okay, so they are calling it as Natural Machine Translation Mission, NMT mission, and also they are naming it as Bahubhashak project. Okay, in next 4 to 5 years, you will listen these terms like natural machine translation mission, or Bahubhashak, or speech to speech translation. These buzz terms you will listen from next 4 to 5 years, because Indian government taken it as a mission and want a lot of people to contribute and make our Indian languages rich, so that speech recognition and machine translation and text to speech will collect the data at the scale of industry. Whatever the industry are using, that scale of data will collect and make it available for academia and startups to develop products. And to reduce the language barrier in Indian context, and also more importantly to make our language more resource rich languages. So far, we, even though we have a lot of population, unfortunately our languages are low resource languages. For example, if you take machine translation, we don't have enough parallel data to build, let's say, Telugu to Hindi or any other pairs for text to text. Academia or startups don't have any good amount of parallel data. Yeah, of course, like Google and other biggies may have, but they don't share that, or even if they share, it's a huge cost. So how to collect that and give it to the in academia and startup, so that our languages products will come at low cost. So that Indian government over the from last 2 years, lot of discussions happened and a lot of pilot projects have gone, and then now they decided, yes, this is the worth and we should put amount on this. So MIT and the PMO office combinedly taking it as a mission and doing this actually. So that's why when madam asked me to give a talk, then I told, let me talk on the speech to speech translation, even though it is not exactly NLP only application, it is a combination of speech plus text. Yeah, one more thing which I need to highlight, I want to highlight now is that, it is our, because of neural network advancements, all of you might be hearing the term neural network over the years. So now in the era of deep learning, now time has come to move to multi-domain. There is nothing like not much problems in monodomain like NLP or speech or computer vision. If you see, many of the classic problems are almost solved because of advancements in the deep learning. Okay, for example, you take speech recognition or machine translation or text to speech. They came up to some they came up to some uh, performance where we can develop products, right? So you, for example, you see Alexa. You might have heard Amazon Alexa, right? Or Microsoft Cortana or Apple Siri, right? Or okay Google. So you can talk to. I think you might have seen the Echo device or Amazon Echo or okay Google devices. So you can talk to it and it will understand your speech, and try backend NLP will happen, and then you can also get the speech output, text to speech output, right, from this devices. So for example, my kids are using okay Google. They say, hey Google, play a particular song, then it will search in the YouTube and play it for them. So such level of accuracies are coming up. So now it's a time to move to more challenging problems in multi-domain. For example, this is one, speech to speech. So in between we'll use ASR, automatic speech recognition, and machine translation, and text to speech, right? So those are seen as individual domain specific problems. Some are speech specific, some are NLP specific, but now as they come to some good performance, then it's time to combine them and make a other grand application like speech to speech. Or you might be hearing that I have 1 hour of video, I don't want to listen entire thing, I want the summary, video summary, and also in the form of speech. Okay, let machine understand that 1 hour, and let it summarize to me in 10 minutes or 5 minutes in the form of speech. Okay, so the such applications people are building. So, or can we do another grand application people are thinking is, can we do automatic movie dubbing, right? So how far it is possible, I know it may not be entirely possible through automation, so somewhere in between manual intervention also may be needed. So that's where research or areas are moving. It's no longer only one domain. So one domain problems or single domain problems became, it's a, once data is available, algorithms are there. So that's why people are going for more challenging problems. Yeah, having said that, I will go into more details of, I'm a ASR guy, I'm speech recognition guy. So I will go a little deeper into ASR maybe in the second session. But in this session, I will tell you what are the challenges. As a talk, in the title itself, I put it like challenges in speech to speech translation. So let us see what are the challenges. Already you might be seeing that Google or a few other companies have this application. If you speak in Hindi, for example, it will automatically convert into whatever the target language you choose, like Telugu or English. It is there, but why we are again doing then the question is like, uh, they may be there, but there are so many challenges. And I will throw that what are the challenges we need to address. So one thing is, definitely we want to collect the scale of industry and give it to academia and startup. That is one of the goal. And second goal is, there is still in the research point of view or the difficulties point of view in developing this application, there are plenty of things to be addressed. So initially, the slides also show that, initially some, when this mission is getting started actually. So there are so many comments that, oh, it's a already solved problem. Google has technology, Microsoft has technology. Why don't you do that? So then this is one of my last project actually, which I done with MIT. So they give a small funding and 6 months time to analyze where is the industry, where is the academia in view of speech to speech translation. So that's what we done. And we choose an application of Mann Ki Baat, where Prime Minister will speak on every month, last Saturday or so. So we took some, our goal is that converting Mann Ki Baat, which is there in Hindi, to English and Telugu using Microsoft technologies, Google, and in academia technologies. So, and to see where we are, is it a solved problem or still a lot not to be done? Okay, so before going to that, let me explain again what are those blocks. ASR, one by one we'll go. ASR means automatic speech recognition. Okay, can you please mute yourself? Somebody microphone is on. Can you please mute?
Done, sir.
So we have ASR system. ASR takes speech as an input and gives text as an output. So how it is evaluated? How speech recognition is evaluated? Speech recognition is evaluated based on word error rate. Okay, this is a formula of word error rate, number of substitutions, deletions, and insertions by total number of. So what it means? Substitution means, let us say I told huge. It is coming up as some other word. Let us say that will be substitution. Deletion means, here you can see here A is there, but that got deleted when you are when this is the reference speech output speech text, but in the ASR output A got deleted. And this here A is not there, but A has come, so that means that is insertion. So these are some of the errors. So substitution, deletion plus insertions by total number of words into 100. That will give you the word error rate. Ideally it should be 0 or as low as possible, but we'll get 9 to 10% of word error rate. That means out of 100 words, 10 this kind of substitutions or deletions or insertions are there actually. So this is another another example where reference speech is like हमेशा की तरफ मेरी तरफ से भी और आपके तरफ से भी एक प्रतीक्षा रहती है. So this is what we took it from Mann Ki Baat sentence. we given that speech into Microsoft, Google, and CDAC has some ASR and IIT Madras. So we have analyzed the errors, how many errors are each systems are giving, where are we. So after analysis, we reported that we have a collaboration that time with Microsoft, and that for that, without any adaptation of Prime Minister's speech or something, the word error rates of Google and Microsoft are around 9.5. That means out of 100 words, some nine words have an issue. Okay, in one sense, for speech-to-speech translation point of view, some of the errors may not be. It's okay because, for example, you see here. There is a huge need for multilingual speech recognition system. There is huge need for a multilingual speech recognition. Okay, so more or less, our meaning is preserved. Here some word may be removed, and here some insertion might have happened, but our meaning may not be changing. But sometimes even if critical word is missing, then it may change the meaning. So this 9.5 word error rate may look huge or like more, but for human understanding point of view, it may be okay. So, but to measure and to indicate where is the state of the art, so we measured in terms of word error rate. So they are around 9.5. And if you take some Monkey Bath speech and adapt your speech recognition models, they are giving around 6% word error rate. Okay. What we observed is that even though we have 6% word error rate, they are pretty good to understand actually. So we, with some manual intervention, we can correct some of the errors and can push it to machine translation block. So what is this machine translation block? Machine translation, as you know, converts one language text to other language text. So here, so we measured using, so actually machine translation outcome is measured using something called BLEU score, or there is another score called METAUR score. But actually these are not very useful indicators actually. That means if BLEU score may be high, but sentence may not be of useful meaning. BLEU score may be low, but meaning may be conveyed. So then what we thought is that let us evaluate manually. Okay. So that means if somebody give a rating of one means unacceptable, and if two means possibly acceptable, meaning is getting conveyed or something. Acceptable means yes, it may not be perfect translation, but it is fine. Ideal means whatever we expected we got. Okay. So in that scale, we analyzed Google, Microsoft, and IIIT Hyderabad machine translation applications. So our scores are around 3.5 or 4 for Google, Microsoft, and around 2.5 or 6 for IIIT Hyderabad MT system. Then we done the analysis of we done the analysis of text to speech. That means whatever the machine generated speech, sorry, whatever the translated text, we generated the speech using Google and Microsoft and even IIT Madras text to speech systems. And we analyzed, and the rating is around 3/5 for Google, because that is not the well adapted one, the publicly available TTS, and Microsoft TTS is 4/5 rating. 4/5 is very good actually, good enough that we will feel it like a natural thing. I'll show you that demo slide later. So now I introduced the blocks, but you also might have seen, it is not perfect. Not each block is this is our entire block diagram, but let us say we have some errors here. Okay, they propagate it to here, right? They will propagate it to here. So each block should be perfect, then only we can go. Then if each block has some issues, then it will propagate. So we have to make sure that before going to the next block, these errors are taken care. Otherwise, it won't, we can't generate proper speech to speech translation. So here So if you see the automatic speech recognition point of view, I'll show you the demo, okay, of what we developed actually. If you want, you can also test it out. Actually, we have something called ASR.Tribality. Recently, we up it actually. So there is an option called test with your voice. So for example, Hindi, it is a language we have ASR. Not all ASRs are perfect, but they have some reasonable accuracy. So we are still improving and putting those models here actually. So for example, Hindi, मैं हिंदी में बात कर रहा हूँ. Okay, so you can see the output here. This is the speech. मैं हिंदी में बात कर रहा हूँ. Okay, this last word is wrong, I guess. But this is how speech recognition works. So the thing is that, so far in speech recognition, the main purpose is to convert speech to text. But in speech to speech translation, we have to, we have to do a lot of things. It is not only converting speech to text. We also need to preserve the, tone or the prosody or the way it is spoken in the source speech. It should be maintained for the target speech. And more importantly, for this natural machine translation or this Bahubhashak project, we have taken, it is mainly led by IIIT Hyderabad and IIT Madras. They have taken application as this application as this NPTEL, NPTEL lectures converting from English to major Indian languages. So that means the application is converting the lectures into this. So there are so many issues, it's not easy problem. Why? Because first of all, our speech recognition need to be adapted for the domain, right? If I am talking about, I am taking computer science lectures and converting into speech to text, I have to use all the technical terms of that computer science engineering into my system. Otherwise, it will give errors. And that is one thing, small thing. And second, more important thing is in this kind of lecture mode speech. So a lot of problems will be there, like problems like speech disfluencies. Couple of my master students are working right now on that speech disfluencies. We collected some data from NPTEL lectures and we are building models on top of that. What is that disfluency? Right? One display, some of the disfluencies is like repetitions. When I'm delivering a lecture, right? When I'm delivering a lecture, I may use some field pauses like actually, okay, like that. Okay, those some of the field pauses we use and some repetitions. That means when I'm giving a lecture, I may be thinking what to be spoken for the next. Then I may be repeating the sentence, okay, or I may be correcting the sentence because I thought I started in a wrong way, and then I'll correct myself the sentence and speak. And we may do repetition of words, or we may use filled pauses. That means like oh, or something. We use some pet phrases or filled pauses. Okay, so those are actually those will create a lot of challenges actually in this speech to speech translation. So because sometimes you are repeating the sentence, after half of the sentence you are repeating the sentence. If your text output also comes like that, so how to give it to machine translation? Okay, how to give it to machine translation? We should not give that repeated sentence into machine translation. First of all, in our speech to speech translation, how to fragment the speech, so that I can convert into text, and that fragment, that meaningful fragment, I will give it to machine translation. That means if you randomly, if you, for example, let me speak. मैं हिंदी में बात कर रहा हूँ. हिंदी बहुत अच्छा भाषा है. हिंदी में बात करना अच्छा लगता है. Okay. So you can see the output. मैं हिंदी में बात कर रहा हूँ. हिंदी बहुत अच्छा भाषा है. हिंदी में बात करना अच्छा लगता है. Okay, like that I spoke. For example, I want to convert this into English. Okay, so how to give the proper fragment into for the machine translation. So ideally, we need to give proper sentence to machine translation. I think you people may know if you are working on NLP. So proper sentence we need to give it to machine translation. Otherwise, if you give, let us say, बात कर रहा है हिंदी बहुत, like that, if I give this fragment to this fragment to machine translation, it won't do good job, right? It has to be, let us say, from here to here as one fragment, here to here as one fragment, and here to here as one fragment. If I get, and then if you give it to empty, then it will perform well actually. So how to get that information automatically if you want to do speech to speech automatically? So that is not easy, for especially like this kind of lectures converting one language to other. Then meaning should be preserved well, otherwise wrong way of conveying the message will happen, and it is not acceptable in learning scenario. So if it is a casual discussion, if few words are missing and some meaning is changed, is okay. But if it is a lectures kind of application, so we need to take care of that. That's why right now what is also understood is that it's not easy to do speech to speech translation, especially this kind of lectures conversion from one language to other without manual intervention. Yes, there should be manual intervention. If everything in manually takes, if everything has to be done manually, for example, right now that's what Swayam and IMHRD lectures, Swayam lectures are happening. I think some of you may know that effort. So a lot of people are putting a manual effort to do everything manually. So now what is our immediate goal is that how to speed up that, how our technologies can help them to speed up the process. Right now, automation is not very, not possible completely. So in between, we use ASR, and then manually we'll interfere and say that, okay, chunk them like this, here to here one, here to here like that. If any repetitions or corrections are there, remove them, and then give it to machine translation. Okay. So we have to handle speech disfluencies, and also need to preserve the speech prosody of source speech, so that how the same kind of speech can be generated in the text to speech. So some of the information apart from ASR, we need to extract information automatically or manually. Okay, right now we can do manually, and then parallelly you can do R&D and develop that additional tools which can help to detect the speech disfluencies, identifying the sentence marks, etc. from the speech, so that we can give the proper fragments into the machine translation. Apart from, as we discussed, there is also a lot of errors ASR may also create. Some of the words it may not able to recognize. Those words also need to be corrected manually. Okay. So only thing is that instead of everything listening and writing, we have rough transcription. Then it can speed up. It can speed up, and then this will give it to empty. Empty system will give you some output. Then correction will be much easier. And, for example, you would see this. This is one of our recent show and tell paper in SLT conference.
Greetings to one and all. We are from Language Technologies Research Center, IIIT, Hyderabad, India. In this video, which we have developed and named it as IndiCap. The platform which we have developed predominantly focuses on Indian languages. As India being a multilingual society, there is a need for a platform or a tool where speech from one language is taken as an input and translates it to the target language. So The platform which we have developed is in line with speech-to-speech machine translation applications. The interface which we have developed aims to bridge the gap between ASR community and machine translation community to have a multimodal speech translation for Indian languages. Internally, apart from web interface, the system mainly contains three modules. They are ASR engine, machine translation engine, and transliteration engine. ASR engine gets the text from a provided speech signal. Machine translation engine, which tries to translate the provided source language text into target language text. Transliteration engine is plugged into the interface as to edit the machine generated transcripts and translations if any human editing is required, either for ASR or machine translation generated outputs. The solution which we have developed enables the capability of speech to text translation from Hindi to English for 4 other Indian languages, namely Telugu, Marathi, Gujarati, and Punjabi. Now, let's have the look on the interface which we have developed. This interface is capable enough of picking audio as well as video as a source of input. So let's upload a sample audio file. Once the audio file is uploaded to the web server, it is sent for audio formatting. So the formatted output is sent to the ASR server to generate machine generated transcripts. So now let's have the look on the audio file which we have uploaded.
मैं जानना चाहता हूं कि टच से बाहर कौन से स्टाइल का गाना है। दया सागर एपिसोड फिर से चलाओ। कौन है निर्देशक नायकों का? अगला एपिसोड चला दो माही वे का। आपका औसत आदमी नहीं कैसा है?
So you can see that the speaker has uttered a word touch in English, but machine couldn't recognize the word touch. Instead of that, it has generated taraf. So let's edit taraf to touch. So it has transliterated to touch. So now let's translate the source language, which is Hindi, to English. Right. It says, I want to know which style is the song outside the touch. So this interface is capable enough of translating to even to Telugu, Gujarati, Marathi, and Punjabi. Right. So this interface also provides an option to download the translation text. So let's have a look by uploading a video file. Let's listen to the video file.
कि नहीं सुलझाया गया तो इसका अंत सैन्य कार्रवाई से होगा। अब ऐसी स्थिति है कि लड़ाई बढ़ रही है और आसपास के देशों को भी अपनी चपेट में ले रही है। जैसा कि सुनने में आया है कि एरिट्रिया के सैनिक अब टिग्रे क्षेत्र में हो रही लड़ाई में इथियोपियन सेना का साथ दे रहे हैं। ये एक गंभीर सैन्य संकट है जिसका मकसद है इथियोपिया की वर्तमान छवि को अपने मुताबिक बदलना और एक देश के तौर पर उसकी वो पहचान बनाना जो आपके हिसाब से मुफीद हो।
So now let's translate it to English. And the same thing to Telugu, Gujarati, Marathi, and Punjabi. So such platforms makes meetings, conferences, and events accessible to non-native speakers with multilingual translations and improving comprehension and retention to them. So thank you.
Similarly, whatever I am saying that speech-to-speech translation, right? So we have the demo for it.
Greetings to one and all. We are from Speech Lab IIIT Hyderabad. Today, we are going to show you a demonstration of a complete end-to-end pipeline of speech-to-speech machine translation for broadcast speeches. The main motto of this project is to convert a Mann Ki Baat audio into other language audio. So, let us consider an audio file which is taken from one of the sessions of Mann Ki Baat. The audio file which we have taken is of 1 minute duration. So let's try to upload it. So in this pipeline, there are three main components. Those are ASR, machine translation, and speech synthesis. The main job of an ASR is to convert a given audio into corresponding text. In machine translation, it takes text as an input and tries to translate to destination language. Whereas in speech synthesis, it takes text as an input and tries to synthesize to corresponding speech. In this platform, we have integrated ASR's API from Google, Microsoft, and CDAC. For the sake of demo, we would be selecting CDAC API. In translation, we have integrated Google's Translation API and Microsoft Translation API. In TTS, we have integrated Google's TTS API, IIT Madras TTS API, and Microsoft TTS API. So in this demo, we would be selecting IIT Madras. So the source language here is Hindi, and I would like to convert Hindi audio into Telugu audio. So let's start converting. So this platform which we have developed is also robust enough to convert 2 hours audio. But the latency involved in it is around 1 hour roughly. So we have uploaded a 1 minute audio duration file. So it would take nearly 30 seconds to complete the pipeline. So the ASR output is towards left and translated output is towards right. This is the ASR output text. This is the translated text. Let's hear the TTS output.
ప్రియమైన నా దేశ ప్రజలరి, ఇది నా సంతోషం కోసం మన్ కీ బాత్ నా ద్వారా కోహిమా నుంచి కాశ్మీర్ వరకు కన్యాకుమారి వరకు దేశవ్యాప్తంగా పురులందరూ ఒక్కసారి పలకరించే అవకాశం వచ్చింది. హలో, మీరంతా మన దేశపు వాస్తుత వైవిధ్యం. ఈ విషయాన్ని గుర్తుంచుకోవడం తగిలపడును. ప్రతి భారతీయుడు అహంకారంతో నిండిపోతుంది చేసి ఈ వైవిధ్యాన్ని అనుభవించే అవకాశం ఎప్పుడూ ఒకేలా ఉంటుంది. ఉత్తర విక్టరీ అమృతానందంతో ఒక పద్ధతిలో ఆవేదన పుష్పం ఉంది. కొద్ది రోజుల క్రితం నేను ఢిల్లీ వచ్చాను. చిన్న స్థలంలో మన దేశపు వాస్తవ స్వరూపం, సంప్రదాయాలు, ఫుడ్ అండ్ డ్రింక్, భావోద్వేగాల వైవిధ్యాలు కనిపించాయి.
So now sir, let's upload the same audio.
Anil sir, just a minute.
Okay.
Anil sir, yeah. Can you make it full screen?
Microsoft ASR, translator Microsoft, and speech synthesis also Microsoft. Source language as it is Hindi, and I would like to convert.
What can you repeat, madam?
Yeah, like full screen share.
Yeah, it is full screen only actually.
Okay, right now it's better, sir.
Hindi audio to English audio. Let's start converting. In this pipeline, The first block is ASR. The ASR tries to convert speech to text, right? And the next block is machine translation. The output of an ASR is fed to machine translation so that it can translate the ASR output text to destination language. Here, the destination language is in English, and the translated output is fed to TTS API. So, the output of translation tries to synthesize and generate TTS outputs here. So roughly it would take 30 seconds as we have given 1 minute audio file. Yes. This is the ASR output, which is generated from Microsoft's API, translation from Microsoft, and synthesis is also from Microsoft. Let's hear the synthesized output.
My dear countrymen, these are my good fortune. Me through that Mann Ki Baat. From Kutch to Kohima, Kashmir to Kanyakumari, all citizens across the country. Then there is a chance to greet once. Hello you all, the vastness and diversity of our country. To remember this, to go down to it. Every Indian fills with pride, and there is always an opportunity to experience this diversity, to be overwhelmed, to fill with joy. In a way, there is a flower of inspiration. A few days ago, I have been in Delhi, in Hunar Haat, in a small place, the vastness of our country, culture, traditions, catering, and appeared in the diversity of emotion.
We would like to thank IIT Madras for providing their TTS API, Microsoft Research India Hyderabad team for providing their ASR API, and CDAC Pune for providing their ASR API. Thank you.
Okay, I can take up some questions. After that, I will go through more speech applications, which may be new to you, but I will give some of the speech applications and then discuss more about ASR. So do you have any questions at this point of time?
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, good afternoon. Sir, I have one query regarding speech-to-speech translation, which you said that for NPTEL video, you and your group are going to try. Sir, I am NIT Rourkela PhD scholar. Sir, I am also working on speech machine translation work only. Sir, as a beginner, I want to know what are the difficulty which you face during speech-to-speech translation from English to from Hindi to Telugu. What difficulty you face, so that when I will try for our languages in our institute, I would get more acquire or about this.
Yeah, as I said earlier, especially this Mann Ki Baat, what we have done this project, some of the problems are not there because it is well articulated and already refined. It's not actually live speech. We'll feel it like a live speech, but actually Mann Ki Baat is already processed speech. Okay, after Prime Minister giving the speech, somebody will edit it and put it to the broadcast it and then put it to the website. So we collected that data. So in that way, there is no speech disfluencies or there is no repetitions, etc. But we took the NPTEL lectures as well. So when we took NPTEL lectures, then there is a lot of disfluencies are there. For example, while delivering the lecture, I may not able to. I may not. Sorry, just now I'm speaking to this lecture now, so I may be correcting the sentence, or I may be referring as we discussed in yesterday, or I may ask you to see the table and see the equation. Yeah, it throws a lot of challenges. Because lecture is not only speaking. You will use resource around him, and you will refer to the previous context, like that. So what happens, if you use simply speech to text and forget the speech, then this text may not capture all those things. And we need to manually, definitely we need to manually edit the speech recognition output, and reduce these disfluencies like repetitions, pet phrases, etc., etc. And more importantly, that only speech to text is not enough for speech to speech translation. We need to observe the tone of source speech, and also more importantly, the biggest problem what we faced is the how to give the input to the machine translation. We got the text output, but how to break it to the proper sentence or meaningful fragment, not meaningful fragment, so that we'll give it to empty system, so that it will also understand and convert. For example, like yesterday class, and something I spoke in the past, and I will tell something in the present, and then how to human being may understand, but how machine will understand that and convert to empty is a big issue. Such sentences and such fragments are giving lot of machine translation errors actually. That meaning we are not able to preserve. So that is that speech disfluencies.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. I have one question. Sir, I think I am audible.
Yeah.
Okay. Sir, did you face any problem regarding some stop words or some punctuation marks at the time of translation from text to speech?
Yes.
Because may the Telugu language have the punctuation marks somewhere else, and may Hindi or English sentence may have some punctuation marks differently, right? So while converting speech to speech, did you face some problems regarding that?
Yes. That's where the manual intervention, especially the command of, let us say I'm converting Hindi to Telugu. So I need a Telugu expert at the text to speech level. We need professional people to help manually as well. So everything we can automate, as I just shown the demo, we can generate speech to speech, but it may not convey the same meaning. Okay, it may not preserve the meaning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So that's where it's not easy problem. The way somebody shows the demo like me and says speech to speech is solved problem. That is not true actually. So like that we have some apps actually from Google and etc. So but they have all these limitations. That technology cannot be used for, let us say, this NPTEL lectures to our Indian languages, or Swayam lectures to Indian languages. So that is a very difficult, challenging problem. So now the thing is that how far our technologies can help, parallelly you also do R&D and try to improve our systems, because no more it is individual ASR block or machine translation block. Machine translation, when you are doing machine translation, you never might have thinking that I may get some wrong text. Your assumption there itself is we get a valid proper segment, how to convert that into source text to the target text. That's all. But here in speech to speech, whatever the text you are getting before giving to empty, we don't know whether the text is proper or not. That's why we need to have a manual intervention and see that, then give it to empty. And again, here one question in empty is for speech to speech translation point of view, how to train empty. Your empty might be trained with proper sentences earlier, but will that work for our speech to speech, or we need to rebuild again machine translation with proper fragments from what we collect in this kind of scenario. So That is also a question mark. We observed that MT, what is trained with proper sentences, are not sometimes not able to understand the text what we are giving, and so that they are not able to translate actually. So, and again, text to speech also. So, what may be the meaningful way to create the text to speech, because your text to speech when you are building that may be in a different scenario, but here in a lecture mode, we have to generate a speech in a more meaningful way, and it should be natural. And then one more issue is that if you generate a speech like that for an hour, then are students interested to capture? Because whenever you are delivering a lecture naturally, so you will add a lot of emotions into it. You will stress something, you will tell something normally, something in a stressful way. You will do it in a more natural way. But whether our current TTS systems will able to do that job, or do we need to build the TTS in a different way? That is also a question mark actually. So a lot need to be done in this space actually, speech to speech translation. Any questions? Any more questions?
Any more questions? Sir, it was a very nice session, as you have added all the demonstrations. So it has given a very clear idea about the work.
Can you take some 5 minutes break and come back?
Any other questions from audience? We have one more session of sir. So if there are any other questions, that will be. Yes.
No question.
Someone.
Yeah.
So, sir, one question from my end. When we say about machine translation for the languages, so any combination of languages is possible when we are moving from one language to another language, or like it is experimented for certain set of languages, or rather like some compatibility of languages is required?
Ideally, theoretically, it should be from any language to any language, provided if you have parallel data. Otherwise, but in Indian context, what they are doing is, let us say, for example, English to Telugu. Sometimes what they are doing is they are coming to English to Hindi and then Hindi to Telugu. In between, they are using some, or people are proposing, why can't we use Sanskrit or some other, in between language? Or sometimes if I want to convert Hindi to Telugu, I may be converting Hindi to English and then English to Telugu, something like that, because of the parallel data and systems, the way they built. But theoretically, any language to any language is possible, provided if you have a parallel data. Parallel data means same sentence in source language as well as target language. Like that, we need to have a maybe people are telling some 50 million, or I don't know exactly, that they are requiring a lot of parallel data for systems need to be effective.
Thank you, sir.
So
Right,
to
sir.
avoid this language, just to complete, to avoid this language pairs, what they are doing is, for example, I have Hindi to Telugu pair, okay, and I have English to Hindi pair. So I want, let us say, English to Telugu. Then what I will do? I will do English to Hindi and Hindi to Telugu, because I may not have English to Telugu parallel data.
Right. Okay, sir. So shall we take one more question, or we will have a break?
Please. Yeah, please. We can continue.
Sir, I have one question. Okay. Sir, for any particular word in any language, if for the similar word there are more than one synonyms in other language, right? So have you maintained some database for that so that that particular word can be placed by using any of the synonym words, or means how the care has been taken?
That is a good question, but to a wrong person, because I am not a MT guy.
Okay.
So yeah, it actually depends on your parallel data. So how your right now people are going more about neural MT, neural machine translation, with whatever the little knowledge I have. So choice of words. The question what you raised is a very good question. That choice of words, same.
Yes.
Yeah, choice of words also matters actually.
Yes,
But
exactly.
again, the problem is like, if you give one sentence to a current person, current youngster and professional, that language speaker, definitely they use a different words actually. So
Yes.
what is right, we can't judge. Both may be right.
Yes.
So right
Again,
now,
there is a
that is the
challenge. Yes.
yes, that is the challenge actually. When we do this technology to our translation companies also, they felt happy a little bit, because once a normal sentence, let us say man ki baat, one normal Hindi sentence is given, they are confused that how to convert, what sort of word I should use to convert into English or Telugu, whatever. But if
Yes,
machine gives
exactly.
something,
But because yes, yes.
if
Yeah.
machine gives something,
Yes.
then they will go with that, or if required, they will correct few words. Otherwise, they have to think a lot to choose the words.
Yes, yes.
So
Thank
yeah,
you, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. This again can be the research problem, right?
yes, yeah, definitely. And also, if you want
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
professional
Yeah.
language to be used, or right words need to be picked, then we should have a parallel data accordingly.
Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah,
Right, sir. So shall we take 5 minutes break and then we will continue?
yeah, sure.
Right, right. Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah, can we start back? Can we come back?
Right. Yes, sir. So good afternoon once again to all the participants. We are continuing with the next part.
I think you can see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
So I will touch I will touch upon a little bit of speech basics, and I will discuss more about ASR, and then we'll finish it off. Yeah. Why we need speech processing, or the broad goal of speech processing is to make actually human computer interaction as natural as possible. You know, because speech is our natural mode of communication, for example, lot of information. For example, you gifted iPhone to your grandparents, then they may not use that effectively because they don't know how to give the right input to the device. Our devices will work mostly on text as an input, but our natural mode of communication is speech. So that's where products like Alexa, OK Google, etc. become popular recently, because they take speech as an input, and in the back end
सगळ्यात जास्त ट्रेन नारायणाकडेच असेल.
Can you please mute yourself?
गर्दी म्हटलं तर नको ना.
Yeah. So they will take speech as an input. In the back end, they will do NLP and then give outcome as a speech. So I'm skipping that speech production. So this is how typically speech signal look like. I'm not going to the details of it as it's more related to signal processing. So, but so for example, I told I'm Anil, okay, or I told I'm from Hyderabad, okay. That simple speech has a lot of information. If I speak that to you, you will understand all these things effortlessly by your human brain, right? A message. What is the message in it? What is the language? Excuse me. What is the language I'm using? What gender I am? What is my roughly my age? If you know my speech, you will see that who is that speaker, what is the emotional state, whether he is speaking normally or angrily, like that, or do you have any voice disorders or any abnormalities. So all that information is embedded in that signal, and our human brain does it automatically. Now as we want to make a natural interface to the machine, machine has to get this on all information automatically. Okay, so that is done by using different systems. If I want to understand the message, that is speech to text conversion, that is called automatic speech recognition. And the counterpart, let us say machine want to convey something, that will use text to speech. Apart from that, we have something called speaker recognition, emotion recognition, language identification. For all of them, input is the speech, output is the, for example, it is the speaker recognition. Identifying the speaker is the task, or identifying the emotion is the task, or identifying the language is the task. Okay. Similarly, we have a pronunciation evaluation tools or forensic tools, etc. So a lot of speech technologies are there, and basically whatever the human brain does, we need to automatically do by machine learning. So that what is the importance? It will give better or natural human machine interaction, and we can use it for authentication purposes, and speech based smart appliances we can develop, and spoken dialogue systems we can develop, and like multilingual systems we can develop, and we can develop navigator for disabled people, or we can also do it for speech pathology purpose, etc., etc. So there are many applications we can develop around speech. So now I will skip these things and I will focus more on something called speech recognition. Yeah. So what is speech recognition? As I said, it is speech to text conversion. Speech to conversion. Okay, it is speech to text conversion. So it requires a lot of knowledge because we are converting speech to text. That means one domain to other domain, right? So it needs a lot of knowledge. This requires acoustic knowledge. It requires acoustic knowledge, phonetics knowledge, phonology knowledge, prosody, lexicon, syntax, semantics, fragments. So all this knowledge is required directly or indirectly. Okay. So this is the typical block diagram of speech recognition. So here the question is, let us say I want to build Hindi recognition system. Okay, Hindi speech recognition system, right? What will be my class to model? What should I model? I should model sentences or paragraphs or sentences or words. What should I model? Because I want to convert speech to text the way I shown the demo. I'll show one more time. Okay. In the end. So for that, I want what sort of segment I should take it for modeling. Can I take sentence as a class? Obviously not, because there are infinite number of sentences in Hindi. So obviously we can't model all of them. Sentence level modeling is not possible. And second one is, can I model the word? Okay. Can I model the word? Unfortunately, we can't even model the word. Number of words are also more. So next level is subword. Subword also difficult. So we'll model basically phoneme. Basically, we'll model something called phoneme. Okay, phone by phone, right? Phonemes is what we model. So depending on the richness of the language, there may be some 40 phones, 50 phones like that. So unfortunately, machine has to recognize the phones. From phones, we have to make them word. From word, we have to make them sentences. That's where we'll get some word errors. But you see, whatever human being is doing, we want to make machine to do that. But the way human being understand the speech is completely different the way machine is modeled. Okay. See the human being luxury. Human being understand the speech based on the context, based on listening the complete sentences, etc., etc. But that luxury is not there with the machine. Okay. We can't, it knows the what. Let us say today I'm talking about anything. You may think that I may be talking about the COVID, or I may be talking about the vaccination, etc., etc. Because that is the current affairs already. But machine, once it is built, it is don't know any current context. Whatever input you give, it has to understand, based on that input only. So you don't know the context. That's where some errors will come. And the second more important thing is, it has to recognize the phones. Phone is very small segment. For example, somebody speak like this, akama, something like that, akama, something like that, and you can't combine and make it as a word. It's not possible for us. But unfortunately, machine has to do like that. Machine has to recognize the phones, combine them into make them word, and word to sentences. So that's where the problem. And another important problem for speech recognition is variability in the speech. For example, I say indoor, you say indoor, and let's say around 50 odd participants are there. If you record indoor, word indoor, and see the signal, most of the signals look different. But if you play them, all of them are indoor. Why the signals are different? My pitch is different, your pitch is different, your style of speaking is different, my style of speaking is different. So all that variations need to be absorbed by the machine actually. Then only it can recognize properly. So that means we need to collect the data which cover a lot of speaker variations. For example, I am building one phoneme. I have to take care of different speakers, different age groups, genders, dialects. All that need to be taken care. Okay, otherwise your model may not be robust. Also, complex like your cursive writing. In the NLP point of time, in NLP point of view, if I want to tell what is speech can be viewed like a cursive writing. Okay, so if somebody give a cursive writing, it is very difficult to identify which letter where it is ending, and it may not be a right shape. But if it is a structured, typed speech, it is very easy to understand. But or you may be on a funny note, you might have seen that prescription given by the doctor, right? It is very difficult for us to understand. So similarly,
there is someone who has not renamed himself. मॉर्निंग में भी एक दो लोग थे जिनका डिवाइस नाम से डिस्प्ले हो रहा है. प्लीज आप रीनेम करिए बिकॉज द होल रिकॉर्डिंग इज टू बी सबमिटेड टू AICTE. इट विल क्रिएट प्रॉब्लम टू यू. I think sir has some network issue. We are putting the attendance link during the session itself. It is the mandatory requirement of AICTE. So please stick to the time schedule while filling the attendance. And also avoid like whatever your registered name is, please stick to that registered name only. That will be easier for us.
Yeah. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it got disconnected actually. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
it's all right. Right.
Yeah, net is working actually. I don't know why it has happened. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, so we are talking about speech recognition. So what are the ingredients required or the inputs required for building the speech recognition? Nowadays, there is a toolkit called Kaldi. We can use the free toolkit called Kaldi. We can build speech recognition using that, and it is not easy to use Kaldi, but because it is not a professional tool, it is a free tool. But we can use the Kaldi framework. To use the Kaldi framework, we need 3 inputs. Okay, for example, I want to build Hindi speech recognition. I need to have Hindi speech data, which is spoken, which should cover all the sound units and which should be spoken by many speakers, and that wave files we need. And second, importantly, we need a transcription of that. That whatever the speech files you have, fragment them sentence by sentence. For each fragment, we should have a transcription. That means whatever is spoken, we should have a text entry. Third thing is we need a pronunciation dictionary. What is pronunciation dictionary? Pronunciation dictionary means each word which is there in the transcription, we should mention what are the phones present in that. Because we write something and we speak something. For example, psychology, some words, different words if we use, for each word, for sometimes some words may have multiple pronunciation. For example, the, read, read. So same spelling, but pronunciation is different. So all that entries should be there in the pronunciation dictionary. These 3 are important: speech files, transcription, and pronunciation dictionary. That's why it requires speech recognition requires multiple knowledge. As a signal processing person, I can make sure of quality of speech files, but I don't know how to do proper transcription. We need a linguistic knowledge. Again, for the pronunciation dictionary making, we need a linguistic people actually. So we are professional in that language. So that need to be done. And that's why our Indian language are low resource, because we don't have this transcribed speech data. Unfortunately, few hundred hours only there actually. But Google and Alexa and Siri, these people are using 10,000 hours of transcribed data, 10,000 hours to 1 lakh hours of transcribed data. That means they have huge amounts of data to model their system actually. But unfortunately, we have only few hundred hours or 100 hours in our Indian languages. That's why we are called low resource languages. And as a part of this mission, whatever I told, that a natural machine translation or Bahubhashak mission, they are also targeting to collect around 40,000 hours of data in different Indian languages. At least 2,000 hours in all major Indian languages they are aiming at actually. So as a part of that, I got a project from MIT recently to collect 2,000 hours of speech data in Telugu using crowdsourcing. Okay, it should cover many number of speakers, many dialects, and it should be properly transcribed, and ASR it should be built around that. So that's what we are developing a framework for it. And so if it gets succeeded, then many other language institutes will take up our framework and develop data and the release. So once amount of data is low, like a few hundred hours, that's when hidden Markov models, like conventional hidden Markov models, are famous for this speech recognition. But the amount of data comes close to 1,000, then better to use recurrent neural networks. Now even in MT, people are using recurrent neural networks. Right, so because recurrent neural networks has the capability to do this sequence to sequence mapping, right? We want to convert speech sequence into text sequence, so this sequential information capability is important. So that is what hidden Markov model earlier has, but because of limited parameters in the hidden Markov model, the amount of data, once the amount of data increased, hidden Markov model performance saturates, but neural networks started giving better performance. And that's when recurrent neural networks. So in this speech recognition, there are 2 important models actually. So one is in the computer science background, this speech is a multidisciplinary area actually. A lot of labs are there in electrical engineering as well as computer science engineering across the world. So because it requires 2 important modelings. One is the acoustic model, another one is a language model. So what is this acoustic model? Acoustic model is like what I said, phoneme level modeling. And build this phone models. For that, those three inputs are required, right? The speech files, transcription, speech files, transcription, and pronunciation dictionary. Then what happens is that you have a one dot wave. Let us say I am from Hyderabad. You have one dot text which has a text on it, and each word in the text we have a phone sequence we know. Then automatically your machine learning pre-trained model roughly mark the boundaries of those phones on the wave file. Okay, for the entire data what you have roughly will mark our phone boundaries. And whenever I want to model particular phone, I will take all the data and use that for modeling that phone. Let us say, for example, you are using recurrent neural network, no need to pull that boundaries kind of data will use to build our model actually. So our pronunciation dictionary helps us to get the rough boundaries. Otherwise, before that, in the beginning days of ASR, that also we need to do manually. So it's not the sentence level transcription. We have to listen and mark phone boundaries. That is very difficult. As I said earlier, it's like cursive writing. Cursive writing, it is very difficult to mark from which letter is ending when, right? Because similarly in speech, we have something called co-articulation, right? For example, I said amma. If I take a and ma and concatenate them, it won't become amma. Okay, it is amma. So that means while producing the word amma, so a influence will be there on ma and ma influence will be there on a. So that is a kind of cursive writing. Okay. So how to mark them? Where I should mark the I ending, where I should mark ma starting, etc. Okay. So some part of this is automized now. So that's where you no need to do phone level marking on data. So we have sentence level transcription and pronunciation dictionary. These two can take care of that. Okay. So and then and then this acoustic model will give us the phone sequence. If you give a speech as an input, it will give phone sequences. And then we have something called language model. What is this language model does is that language model is trained with the valid text. Okay, you will give valid text and then build bigram or trigram or n-gram models. Bigram, trigram, or n-gram models. What makes sure is that they will give us the probability. What is the, let us say if you take bigram, it will say that after these two phones, what is the probability that these two phones will come? Okay, like that. This is bigram. Model works. So what we'll take a final decision is that, along with the acoustic model, we'll also get the language model probability. Okay. So that, any phone error, some of the phone errors may be corrected. After this phone may not come. So try to take the other best one. Okay. Second best one and then see. Okay. So that, this language model will try to correct some of the phone level errors. After that, we'll combine them into words. Okay. That phone sequence will become words. Again, this pronunciation dictionary, whatever the phone sequence will get, we'll see the close by word in the pronunciation dictionary and we'll pick that. For example, if you produced a word which is not there in the pronunciation dictionary, it will give out of vocabulary. That's why while testing your speech recognition, you have a lot of Google or OK Google free speech recognition tools are there. You can test it. If you use some word, let us say some name which is not there in the dictionary, it won't be displayed. some close by word will be displayed, right? You might have observed that, right? So we have to make sure that all the words should be there in our pronunciation dictionary. If you are adopting a particular domain, we should add all the domain vocabulary in the pronunciation dictionary. If you add in the speech data itself, that is great. But otherwise, at least in the pronunciation dictionary, we should use those words. Otherwise, it will come out of vocabulary. Okay. So to language model side, lot of modeling approaches people have tried. Okay. And so for the acoustic model side, so initially people used hidden Markov models, combination of GMM and then DNN with HMM people used. And right now those are RNN, CTC or encoder decoder approaches. So everything is neural networks. Hidden Markov model is replaced with the recurrent neural networks because people are started using a lot of data. Like I said earlier, 10,000 hours to 1 lakh hours of data. Those that much amount of data, these models saturates after a few 100 hours of data. So, but recurrent neural networks can go more deeper and give better accuracies. That's when, you know, you might have this ASR is work is going on from last 30-40 years. But Alexa and OK Google, such products have come very recently, maybe last 3-4 years, because when HMM is people are using accuracy are okay, but still some issues are there, not practically usable that much. But once the neural network started observing more data and giving better accuracies, then these products have come into picture. Actually, you might have heard robot Sophia, right? So what is the beauty of that is that it can understand your speech and respond back in speech. So that is the beauty of that robot Sophia. So in the back end, everything, you know, models are built with neural nets. Yeah, I won't go through the details of it. Let me show you our demos, and one interesting demo I will show you, and then we can take up some questions and wind up. So yeah, so this is, as I said earlier, can you see my screen? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I will show you some interesting demo. So this is our multilingual actually. So what is this multilingual? Earlier I also used to have video of it, but now we made it live. So let me show you live. Podumakkal Mahati Ansar Telidu. Can you see the output? Podumakkal Mahati Ansar Telidu. But unfortunately, you may not be the native speakers of Tamil or Gujarati or Telugu. So actually, this is a multilingual single recognition system which is recognizing both Tamil, Gujarati,
Hindi,
and
so, or English in English.
This multilingual, we have it in these three languages only. Very soon we'll add in other multiple languages also actually. So, but right now we have it in Tamil, Telugu and Gujarati, because this is the data which is shared by Microsoft as a part of challenge, and we use that data and build that actually. So we'll add very soon Hindi and English as well. Okay.
Oh, okay, sir. No problem.
Yeah, what this is showing is that, you know, instead of collecting each language 10,000 hours, let us see at the phonetic space at least data. Okay, can we combine the data and build a single ASR? Okay, so that is what, you know, we combined Tamil data, Telugu data and Gujarati data and build a single speech recognition. And I gave a sentence, this one, which is combination of one word of Tamil, one word of Gujarati and one word of Telugu. So it has recognized and displayed. Okay, and recently we got an Indian English challenge data from IIT Madras. This we can test it actually. This is actually computer science domain data. So it will understand words like artificial intelligence, data science, like that. I am giving a demo on artificial intelligence, data science, algorithms. Okay, you can see the output. I am giving a demo on artificial intelligence, data science, algorithms. Okay, So, but if you talk on general English, it may not be this accurate because the lot of data is computer science specific data actually. So the dictionary is a lot of these words. Normal conversational English also it may understand, but it may give more errors actually. So you can we have we have around 1,000 hours of US English trained ASR as well. It do recognize Indian accent, but it will give some errors. So Hindi anyway shown, I can show again. हिंदी बहुत अच्छा भाषा है, हिंदी में मैं बात करना चाहता हूँ. हिंदी बहुत अच्छा भाषा है, हिंदी में मैं बात करना चाहता हूँ. You can see the outcome, right? So these are we recently built and integrated in our asr.regulatory.ac.in. So as I can talk more on these speech systems as this workshop is more focused on NLP. So I like to stop here and happy to take some questions and discussion, do some discussions actually. Do you have any questions? Anybody have any questions? How many of you are pursuing PhD in NLP or speech domain among the participants?
Few are there.
Okay. One suggestion to all of you is that, now we should work with more data and neural network based approaches. That's why be very cautious while selecting your problem. Okay. And there is somebody raised the hand. Sudhanshu Bala, somebody, Mr. or Mrs. Anybody want to ask any question?
Yes, any questions?
If you another one more suggestion I want to give is that if possible try to work on multi-domain and also make sure that you also collect some part of data for your problem. Otherwise, if you work on freely available data, many people are across the world are working on those data and they are generating a lot of results. So for research point of view, try to choose a good problem, and more importantly, this Indian context have a lot of problems need to be addressed, which in one way it may have less competition because other country people may not be interested to solve our problems. In other way, we are giving service to our community. So I also suggest you to choose any problem which you can work on Indian languages, Indian context. Okay. Yeah, we know that there is a lack of data and other language data may be more. So that's why we are inclined to do that. But yeah, we should also contribute to our data collection. And also, as I said earlier, a lot of data is going to come for Indian research very soon.
Yes, sir. Mainly, like many times we are finding the same problem about the data authentication. We start with readily available data and sometimes we are stuck up into the results. And yes, truly in India, it's a multilingual country, so we are having a number of options. Similarly, sir, there are so many dialects of the same language in the area.
Yes.
Like if we see Marathi or Hindi, so we are having so many dialects. So again, it is the data generation is again very typical in that case.
Yes.
Right. Any other questions? Sir, I will like to put one aspect to you, kindly guide. we have seen that a recent research is saying that Sanskrit will be used as a 5th generation language. But if we see a simple like Google translation tool we are using, but we are not finding Sanskrit in that. Yeah. So how this can be like how this recent research is working on this line?
Yeah, I do have a limited idea on this, but I'm hearing a lot of discussions around this, and some set of people are interested to go in that direction, and they're feeling that that is the right direction. So, but the only thing is that till now the results or the data is not yet available to others to explore and go in that direction. So as you rightly said, the people are going with whatever the available data. So to go into any different direction, we need a lot of data, and it's not one person effort actually. So it's a group has to work and solve that issue. So one significant amount of group works and release that data, then other can start working in that direction. But some people are seeing promise in that actually.
Yes, sir.
May I say something about this?
Yes, Virendra Kumar, आपको
हाँ, yes, madam.
Yeah, right.
हाँ, मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ, whereas the other natural languages are context sensitive, that is, we understand the meaning from the context. But Sanskrit is different in the sense that it is context free. For example, when we write in say Hindi, we have subject, object, verb. In English, it may be say subject, verb, object. While in Sanskrit, it is the words are arranged in context-free manner. That is, say Prathama, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti, Saptami, Ashtami, Vibhakti. So in say Chomsky hierarchy, these are say level 0, level 1, level 2, level 3. So these other languages are level 1, while this context-free comes level 0, and that's why Sanskrit is being preferred, being a context-free language. Thank you, sir. Thank you, madam.
Correct.
Yeah. So yeah, people has to thoroughly experiment and say what sort of advantage it is bringing in and how it is helping to solve the problem. So if any interesting results come, so yeah, people will go in that direction as
well. Right. Any other questions? Or otherwise we will end up the session.
Yeah.
Right. Sir, truly speaking, this is a very nice session which everyone has enjoyed. We are having like, although we have focused mainly on computer science and IT, but we have preferred all aligned disciplines along with it. So we are having a mixed group of the faculty members. And especially it was with reference to speech and machine translation. So we have invited all relevant disciplines to the group, and everyone has enjoyed it in a truly manner, as you have demonstrated a lot of real work which has been done, and the tool is really very interesting one. Even there are some virtual labs which are available. So we are at the intermittent, we are also going through it. So it's a very demonstrative and very interesting session. Thank you very much for sparing the time for this TTP, and hoping all your coordination to the different research people who are working in the area.
Thank you. Thank you once again inviting, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Right. This is there is one instruction to all the participants. Kindly join the WhatsApp group so that the interaction can be done in a proper manner. See, 80% attendance is mandatory as per AICTE. So we request everyone that attendance link will be shared only through the sessions, because everything is getting monitored by